My musical associate Phil Ryan was giving guitar lessons to a Swedish oil executive who suggested they became partners in a West End nightclub for acoustic music, to be named the 12 Bar Club. Phil had been deputy editor of The Big Issue but left that in order to front a band claiming to be the Animals and play at a benefit concert in Moscow Red Square. The keyboard player in that band was my other long-time musical associate, Denny Bertan. The 12 Bar Club in Denmark Street became my second home. I was occasionally the sound man, but best of all I could take guests, sit in the VIP suite and get free drinks. As manager, Phil gave breaks to many of the artists who then owed him a favour. So when we decided to do a musical based on the novel Silas, Marner by George Eliot, we had singers willing to help out. For once the favours for favour system worked in our favour. This also coincided with Phil's literary agent arranging a meeting for him with the producers at the Shaftesbury Theatre. They were interested, so Phil mapped out which songs each of us should write. We recorded them on an 8-track recorder in Phil's flat using a few of our friends. We had a Commodore Amiga and a sequencer program called Master Tracks. This was synced to an 8-track recorder. We arranged all the tracks like classical pieces. Though all the sounds were made by a Korg M1 synthesizer module, they were representations of piano, string and percussion instruments. Before playing each part on the keyboard, Denny would mime the way each instrument should be played, bowing imaginary cellos and beating imaginary timpani.
One day provide me with love. I knew I just had to wait till that moment my life has been leading up to. Oh, that moment I finally knew I was falling in love with you.
The producers suggested a few more songs to finish it off. I was tasked with writing the scene where the real father wants to take back his daughter, but she chooses to stay with Silas. For part of it I wrote a lyric to a tune that Phil had written, but we had not so far used.
Part of me is cautious, part of me is keen. With my love put to the test, what shall I do for the best?
Come with us, be
No
resplendent
jewels
in your
for her to
finery.
shine.
I have dreamed no fancy words for what I must say. I'm sure in your way you believe you are kind, but this is my home and here I must stay. I need only warm fire to be warm. I need only warm coat for any cold day. I have only one life I shall lead, and this is my home, and here I must stay. I need only one child.
Only one chance.
I need only one
Only one bed.
I have only one life I shall lead, one Father, that is all, and I know He would die should I go away. I have only one life I shall lead, and this is my home, and here I must stay.
Whatever we may do, whatever we may say, wherever we guide to, love will still find its own way. Whatever we may do, whatever we may say, wherever we guide it to, love will still find its own way. Love will find its own way.
We wrote some of our best ever songs and meetings were held where names like Jerry Halliwell and Robbie Williams were bandied about. And plans were made to raise millions. The Shaftesbury Theatre were at the time home to the original London production of Rent. One memorable night in the late 90s, Phil, Denny and I, with our partners, found ourselves being shown to our complimentary seats by a man who had recently been part of Andrew Lloyd Webber's organisation. "We hope to get your musical on here soon," he said. I remember it well. The anticipation was the best thing I have ever known. We would hear tales of optimistic meetings. I was working as a minicab driver and I may just have mentioned it to one or two passengers, all the time, every day. I was having a great time. The streets of London were a pleasure to drive. Traffic jams were just another chance to take stock. I was self-employed. I could drop my passenger and start my new life as a successful songwriter just as soon as I got the word. One day I dropped our latest CDs of the song to the theatre in Shaftesbury Avenue, so the producer could fly to New York for a meeting with Jim Dale. Yes, Jim Dale of the Carry On films. But it was not to be. The money went elsewhere, and for years we charted all the failures that were put on at the Shaftesbury Theatre. But we still had contacts at the Theatro Technis in Camden. We called in Phil's 12-bar club favours and put together a cast including a voice coach and her mother, an ex-professional opera singer. One of our singers was a producer who had worked with post-punk legends The Fall, John Peel's favourite band. Phil was Silas Marner. I was musical director during the rehearsals and I directed the lighting during the performances. By then I was using a PC running Cubase to sequence sound fonts that had been made from samples of the real instruments. The opera singer required a vocal score, so I had to work out how to do that as well. We sold out 2 nights and luckily 2 of our friends filmed it. Another top producer saw one of the performances and also tried to get funding, but that didn't happen either. We had a meeting backstage at the Wickham Swan. Not quite the Shaftesbury Theatre, but not so far for me to go. However, it did end up with me having a Fender Telecaster. We were also advised to maybe consider writing something modern. We left it for a while and then Phil and I both added some new songs.
He picks me up if I should fall. He's by my side if I should call. He knows me well, but I don't know him at all. I still believe in the man. It's not his way to be cruel. Can I believe in someone I barely know at all? But he's my man with all his imperfections. He's still my man, and he's everything to me. I should resent his duplicity, though what I feel is sympathy. Though he has sinned, he's no sinner, more a fool. She's your child.
What shall we do?
And though we have lost time,
love
Still
her too.
she's your
Could you still love
child,
someone
and
you
all
don't
that's
know
yours
at
is
all?
mine.
This
This
is
is
our
our love. We'll work it out together. Still with our love, we have all we'll ever need.
I was listening to a Puccini opera and I was inspired to come up with one verse, to which Phil quickly added 4 more and 2 bridges.
When you wake at the thought of each day, if you weep for the times there was joy, the lesson is clear, though you don't want to hear, there is no such thing as love.
YouTube had become a thing, and I linked all the footage from the Teatro Technis with footage of the new songs and put it all up on a YouTube channel. At one point we had a company in Canada interested. In the mid-2010s we had an inquiry from the Bedlington Light Opera Society. One night in 2016 Phil and I drove into the heart of Surrey to see 26 people in full Victorian costume perform our musical.
Father, my dear, would you sincerely say you're happy?
Happy, my dear, and happy not to let it show, but I can faithfully say that I cherish every day, for this time of our lives may be the best we'll ever know. These days in love alone may be the best we'll ever know.
It was a full house and we took a bow. I was inspired to run my own workshops of Silas Marner at Wickham Art Centre, but I could not find enough singers to put on a production. I finally gave up on Silas Marner after 18 years, during which time I had moved to Wickham. It was finally time to bury the old man.
Oh, wonderful life. No madding crowds, no trouble and strife. And I'll have a husband if father agrees. We'll all be one big family. I'll be a mother,